I have the power of the earth. I have the power of the heavens. The only thing I do not have the power of is the sea. There's no Kyogre kit, guys, but hopefully after my trip to Japan at the end of this year, I will have more Nanobox sets to build, and hopefully more unboxing builds for all of you to enjoy. But for now, this video is focusing on one Pokemon, and one Pokemon only, Groudon. Welcome back to the channel, guys, and welcome back to my latest Pokemon Nanoblock unboxing build. And in this video, we are doing Groudon, the Earth legendary Pokemon, and the Pokemon that's responsible for creating the Earth of the which region? It was the third generation. I cannot remember what it was, but anyway, you know what I mean. We are focusing on this one, and unfortunately, we've only got these two. I got them in a as Christmas presents this last year, so I'll be working on one at a time, and the first one is going to be Groudon. And he is the cover Pokemon for Pokemon Ruby and Omega Ruby. And of course, when I was much younger, when this game came out on the Game Boy Advance, I had Pokemon Ruby. And I actually caught Groudon. So, there's going to be a lot of red, not the orange that we are used to with the Charizard. So, I've got, how many bags? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bags to go through. So there's red, black, grey, and white to go through. And not a really big instruction booklet either, which I'm really, really glad about. And it looks really easy to go through. So, oh, it's double-sided. Never mind. So I'm going to sort out all the pieces first, and then show you what I've got. So I'll see you guys in a second. Before I begin, guys, I just want to point out that I am also active on the community tab here on the YouTube channel. I do all sorts of things, from posting pictures to my latest projects, as well as polls which will affect the Twitch and YouTube channel. So please do spend a couple of minutes checking out all my community posts, and of course, enjoy the video. Okay, so all the pieces are now organized and sorted into their colors, sizes, and of course groups. And of course there is quite a bit of red to go through. I might as well start off with that. So I've got 24 2x3s. I've also got 15 2x4s for the build, because we are expecting to cover a large amount of ground on when it comes to the red. We've also got some 1x4s, there's 14 of those. There's also 14 1x3s. I even have 15 1x2s and 34 1x1s. And those are the simple ones. We've got some Ls. We've got 30 red Ls here to work with. A lot less than 2 weeks ago when we did the Mega Charizard Y. Next up, let's move on to the dark greys. I have 9 1x2s. Who's in dark greys? I've also got 20 2x4s, 6 1x4s, I believe, yep, another 6 1x3s, and 4 Ls here again. Blacks, I have at least 22 black 1x1s. And then for the 2x2s, I've got 12 of these. Let me move this down. Yep, I've got 12 of these. I have got 16 1x2s, and I've also got, if I can sort it back into its position, there we go, 9 1x4s, and yep, I've also got 10 black Ls in the build as well. Now we've got 2 yellow 1x1s here. Those are going to be for Groudon's eyes, his big yellow eyes. We've also got 10 white 1x3s, 6 white Ls, and 14 white 1x2s. So that's all the pieces that we're going to need for this huge build. And I'm going to get started on step 1, where I'm going to be building Groudon's feet. Okay, so step 1 of the build is over and done with. It's nice and easy. We're just getting to the foundation of the model. So we've got, well, I began with this red 2x4 right here as my foundation brick, which I then placed on both sides another red 2x3, then both sides here, then a black L, where this one has its gap facing southeast, this one is facing southwest, so it's easy to remember. And then right in the, I've grabbed another 2x4 in red, and then placed it in the middle of the, well, right behind the L, where the middle pegs of this, of each brick is. And of course it is a peg forward, and of course a peg to the side of the 2x3s that we did earlier. And then I placed a dark grey 2x4 in between the gaps of the black L that I started off with. So it's nice and easy, it's nothing to get too nervous about. So the next step that I'm going to do is carry on working towards the back and the spine of Groudon, where hopefully we can add some more little details to this miniature. Okay, so step 2 is nearly done. Let me go over what I've already done first, because I will explain that a little bit in just a moment. I began with the red 2x4 right here, which is 2 pegs away from the front of the, from where I already began on this model. Then I placed 2 more 2x3s right on both ends of the, in the vertical position right here and here. Then I grabbed 3 dark grey 1x4s to give Groudon that earthen greyish feel on its stomach that it's got. To over the dark greys that I've already over the that I started off with, and of course the black elves right here. Then I also placed a black 1x2 here and here on the front of Groudon's body, and of course, I've also placed 2 black 1x2s, and there is a gap, and I will get to that as well in a second. But first, I need to explain this red L here. So, on the side, there is a red L where the gap is filled by the 2x3 that we did right in the middle. But underneath it is a red 1x1 here and a black 1x1. So, what you have to do for this is grab a black 1x1 and a red L and place the red 1x1 here and put that piece on the model. So that's it for step 2. Now the reason why this is here is because the next step is going to be Groudon's long rock hard tail, and of course we need to put this part to the side so we can get started on step 3, part 1 of step 3. Okay, we're done with part 1 of step 3, and this one is just to get the foundation for the tail done. So what I did was, first of all, started off with a red 1x4 and put it in a vertical position, and then underneath it, in horizontal positions, is 2 dark grey 2x4s, kind of like making a 4x4 using those 2 bricks. That's then the next, my next direction for this part. Then I had to grab 2 white 1x3s and then place them like so, kind of like spikes coming out of the tail. And then underneath each one of those white 1x3s is a black L, where this one has its gap facing southwest and this one is going southeast. But the gaps are not going to be left alone because they are going to be filled by these 2 white 1x3s right here and here. So that is it for part 1 of step 3. I'm now going to get to work on part 2 of step 3 and finish off the tail. Not really much to do for the tail, really. Part 2 of step 3 is now completed, and it was really tricky at first. I thought these were 1x4s, but it turned out they were 1x3s, and we've got 4 of them. I believe it's to help create the illusion of Groudon's tails being rather earthen-like. So we just have to put them in a horizontal position, at least, in the middle, underneath the over the 1x4 from earlier. Then work our way backwards. I placed a black 1x4 right behind each one of those to help support them and keep them in place. Then 2 more white 1x3s right here, and then to help connect everything together is a red 2x3 right here, so that it's all linked up. Then I had to do a bit of a dot motion with this next slot. So on both sides it is a red 1x1 followed by a black 1x1, then another red 1x1, and underneath it, down here is a black, 2 black 2x2s, and that's it for the tail being built. We can now attach this to the main body, so it should now look a little something like this. It's coming up nicely. So with that over and done with, I can now move on to step 4, where we can make the tail a little more stable, and of course work on more of the body as well. Step 4 of the build is now complete, and this time I did need 4 1x4s, which I began right here at the back on the tail for the model. Then right underneath it is 2 red L's, where this one has its gap facing northwest and this one is northeast, but their gaps will be are filled by little 1x1s here and here. Then this one is sort of like a mirrored pattern, so kind of like a pattern next. A black 1x4 followed by a red 1x4, then another black 1x4, and then right underneath it towards the body is 3 red 2x3s, 1 in the middle of the black 1x4, and 2 on both ends of it. Then once those bricks were placed, I then placed 2 red 2x4s here, 1 here and 1 here, which sorted out with the legs for Groudon. Then I grabbed some dark grey 1x3s, 1 here and 1 here, directly close to the red 2x4s that we started with, placed upon soon after. Then 2 dark grey 2x4s to start forming the curve underneath Groudon's body. So that is it for step 4. Next up is step 5, and I'm going to be working on more of the tail and of course the body for Groudon. So hopefully we'll get some interesting details on the tail soon. Step 5 of the build is now completed, so I'll begin with the tail, because that's the most interesting thing that I've had to do for this model. It's basically a row of 4 1x1 reds right here. I think it's just to create that earthen look for the tail, which I believe is coming soon. Then a red 2x4 right here, which is 1 peg, 1 row away from those 1x1s I've done. Then right next to it is a black 1x4 right here to create more of a curve effect on the tail. Then from the tail onto the main body, I began with this red 1x4 right here, as my foundation brick, which has been very helpful. Then I placed 2 red 2x3s underneath it, and of course join them together like it's a 2x6, and of course made it look like it was directly underneath the 1x4. Then right underneath each one is a red 2x4, 1 here and 1 here, and of course it has to be at least 1 peg away to either the left or the right, depending on which side you're doing. Then 2 dark grey 1x3s right here at the front, and then a dark grey 1x4 to cover up the greys from behind. So that is it for step 5. With step 6, it looks like we're going to finish off the tail, but carry on with the main body for Groudon. Right, step 6 now completed. Let me show you what I've done with the tail. It's, again, 4 lots of red 1x1s right here on the tail. So as you can probably see on camera, all those little faint lines which form the grid, like a little chessboard, half a quarter of a chessboard. That's the best way that I can describe it. Then I moved right back into the front and began with the dark grey 2x4 right here, and then a 1x2 here and here. But before those two dark greys that I pointed to, I did place the red 1x4 right behind the grey 2x4, just to make sure that I wasn't off with the instructions. Then I grabbed two black 2x2s here and here, which helps out with more of the black for Groudon. Then another 1x2 here and here. And once those were in place, I then had to grab two red L's and make sure this one was facing southwest, this one was southeast, and the gaps are filled by the black 1x2s. So that is it for step 6 of the build. I'm now going to get to work on step 7, where we're done with the tail, but we're still working on the body. Step 7 is now completed, and we have got some more white on the model, but quite a bit of dark grey as well. So I'm going to begin with that. At the front right here is another dark grey 1x4. Let me just see if I can make an adjustment quickly. There we go, that looks a little better. And go, hopefully that'll work as well. So anyway, dark grey 1x4 right here is the first brick that I put on. Then right behind it is a dark red 2x3 right here, followed by two grey 1x2s on both sides of the 2x3 that we placed. Then two white 1x3s, one here and one here. And finally, to help keep everything together, is a red 2x4 right here on the back. Then, to carry on with the red and black pattern, there is a red 1x1 here and here, and a black 1x1 here and here to keep up the pattern for Groudon. So with step 7 now completed, I can now move on to step 8, where we are working on more of Groudon's body. Step 8 of the build is now completed, and we have got a little more of black, which is where I began with. It's a black 1x4 right here on the spine of, and of course the back of Groudon. Then going forward to the front of the body is two red 2x3s, one to the left and one to the right, and of course just making sure that it looks like a 2x6. Then, right in between those 2x3s is a dark grey 2x4, which is going to be used for later on, where we're going to make a foundation for Groudon's head. Then I also had to grab two black 1x2s, one here and one here. And then at the front is two grey L's to stay in line with what we've already built early on in the model. So that is it for step 8, and it looks like on step 9, I am right, we're going to be working on more of Groudon's neck area, where we're going to have his head soon. Step 9 of the build is now completed, and it was a really tricky step for me, personally. So what I did was I began with the black L's, and made sure that it was directly over one of the grey bricks that I did, one of the grey L's. And of course I had to make sure that the gaps were facing the inside. So this one is facing southwest, this one is facing southeast. But then I did get the opportunity to put the dark grey 2x4 right here at the front. So that is that sorted for the head area for Groudon. Then right into the back, I had to grab two more black L's. This one is like this, southwest, this one southeast. And then their gaps were filled with a white 1x2, making sure that it was heading outwards. Then right in between those black L's is a red 2x3 here in a horizontal position heading to the back. And of course you have to make sure that there's at least a little 1x2 gap right here in the model. But at the back right here is two more red 1x1s. So that is that for step 9. For step 10, it looks like we're going to be finishing off the foundation for Groudon's neck area. So I'm going to get to work on that, and then I'll show you the end result. Step 10 is now completed, and it looks like we're nearly done with the neck area for Groudon on its body. So I began with the black 1x4 right here here at the very back. Then underneath it, I had to grab 2 red 1x3s. He's to carry on with the pattern. Then, of course, right here at the front area is 2 grey 2x4s, kind of like a 4x4. Then, on top of the 2 white 1x2s that we did in step 9 is 2 more black 1x1s, and then a red 1x1 here, and 1 here. So that is it for step 10. Now I'm going to do steps 11 and 12 at the same time, because they both have 3 parts, and they're both the hands for Groudon. His big, very strong, earth-making hands. Okay, so step 11 and 12 have parts 1 completed, and it's really easy once you get the hang of things. I began with a red L. Step 11, the gap should be facing the southwest, and step 12 is the southeast. And then directly underneath it is a red 1x2 right here, so that kind of forms the foundation for Groudon's hand, its arm, sorry. And then the gap for the red L is a grey 1x3 in a horizontal position. Just make sure that it is facing the front of Groudon's body. Then on top right here, it is a red 1x1 followed by a black 1x2. That was my next step. Then I did a grey L where the gap is the same as the red L from earlier. And then underneath it is a grey 1x2, a dark grey 1x2, and then a white 1x2. So that is it for step 11 and 12 part 1 each. And now I'm going to get to work on part 2. And whilst I do that, why don't you check out this little friendly message right here. Do you like what you see on the screen? The link to the video will be down in the description below, so you can check it out for yourself. But for now, we're going back to the build. And don't forget guys, if you want to check me out and just chat with me during my streams, I go live at 8 PM London time on random days of the week. Please do check out my community tab as well for when I will be going live for that week. But for now, we're back to the nanoblock build, and part 2 of steps 11 and 12, it's nice and simple. You start off with a red L, making sure that the gap for step 11 is facing the northeast, and step 12 northwest. And of course you have to make sure that the gaps are filled by a red 1x1, nice and easy. Then underneath each of the L's is another red L, and of course a white L directly in the red gap. For step 11, the L should be facing southwest, and for the step 12, southeast. Then on top of each of the white L's, right in the very middle, right here and here, is a little red 1x1 to form part of Groudon's claw. And then at the back is a black 2x2 right here to help connect it to the main body. Well, that is it for step 12. Part 2 of those steps. I'm going to show you part 3 for step 11 so that you know what to do underneath each hand. You have to grab at least one white 1x2 and a black 1x2. Place the white 1x2 at the end of the red 1x2 from part 1, and then same again with the black 1x1. So it should look something like that, and then connect it to the main body. Like so. So it should look like that. So I'm going to finish off step 12 and then move on to step 13 and show you the end result of everything. So I've now completed step 12, and of course Groudon now has his right claw, and I've also managed to attach it onto the body as well, which then leads me to step 13 of the build. So I had to make sure that the black 2x2s were connected properly, so I began with the red 1x3s right here to make sure that they were linked onto the main body of the model nice and easy. It was a little bit tricky, but with a bit of, ingenuity and of course bricks, well, especially the plastic bricks, like so. The models are now together intact. Then next to each one of those red 1x3s heading towards more of the arms is a red 1x2 here, and again here. And then right on top of the red 1x3s is a black L, and then followed by that is a red L. Now on the left hand side, the gap should be facing southwest, and on the right hand side, it should be facing southeast. So that is it for step 13. Step 14, it's really easy. It's just, I'm going to do it on camera. You just need to take one red 1x1 and place it in the very center of the black L. Oh, one each. And that should be it for step 14. And there we go. So that is it for step 14. I now have to move on to step 15, where it's a 9-part process. So I need to put it to the side and then get to work on Groudon's head. Part 1 of step 15 is now complete, and it's really easy. It's trying to make a little dark grey 6x4. So it's 3 2x4s, 2 here together, and then 1 here at the front to help out with the head. Then right in the middle of that front 2x4 is a dark grey 1x2. Then on both sides on the back is 2 red 1x2s. So that's it for part 1 of step 15. I'm now going to get to work on part 2, where we're going to hopefully connect everything together. So we are now done with part 2 of step 15 of the build, and we've got ourselves a lot of white L's. So we've got 4 of them at the front. 2 to connect the 1x2 to the 2x4 from earlier, and then the 2 here to connect the front 2x4 to the back 2x4s. And of course their gaps in the back are filled by the red 2x3s right here, which are over the red 1x2s. 1 here and 1 here, and that is that. Then right here at the back is a 2 more dark grey 2x4s, which I believe are going to be connected to the head of Groudon. So I'm looking forward to doing that, not in the future. But right now I've got another a few more of a couple of parts to do for step 15, and that is working on more of the head of Groudon in part 3. So we're now done with part 3 of step 15, and it's kind of a little tricky to look at, but once you've got your bearings right, it should become a lot more easier to do. So I began with the red 1x2 right here, and you have to make sure that it's away from the front 2 white L's that from part 2, but connecting the previous 2 right in the middle, as you can see right here. Then behind it is a red 2x4 to help link everything together, and then I went around to the sides of it on both sides, so it's a black 1x2 right here for the front. Then behind it is a white 1x2 in a vertical position. Then a black 1x1, as you can see right here. Let me just see if I can bring it up to a little closer. There we go. There it is. Then 2 white 1x3s, also in a vertical position like the white 1x2s. Then right here, then what I did was I grabbed a red 2x4 right here and placed it 1 peg away from the red L's that I did. And then right here on both sides is 2 lots of black 2x2s, where they are connected from the 2x4 red here to the white 1x3s. So that is it for part 3 of step 15. I'm now going to get to work on part 4 and get Groudon's eyes on its head. Part 4, step 15 is done, and Groudon now has its eyes. It's the yellow 1x1s right here and here. Then right behind it, I did the black 1x1s, because that way I knew it was going to be easy to do the next pieces, which were the red 1x4s, and of course put them right on the innermost part of Groudon's head. Then, right here at the front, one peg away from the 1x4s, is a red 2x4 to create more of Groudon's head. Then, right behind each one is a 2x3 dark red in a vertical position. And for the next 2 rows, it's going to be exactly the same. Also, these bricks are going to be in a vertical position. We've got a dark red 2x4, and then for each one, and one here, then for each one of those 2x4s is a black 1x1 at the front, and a red 1x1 at the back. Then at the very back of the head area is a red 1x4, so that it is forming more of Groudon's head. And it's coming together nicely, but Groudon is still needing that look of hatred on its face. So we're going to get to work on that in Part 5. Part 5 is nearly done. I just need to show you exactly what I did on the top of Groudon's head. So I began with the covering the yellow bricks with 2 red 2x3s in horizontal positions. Then put another 2x3 in between those 2 that I did at the front. Then at the very front, to make sure that it doesn't wobble, it is a red 1x4 to help stabilize the head. Then right behind those 2x3s is a black 1x4, followed by 2 red L's, where this one has its gap facing northwest, this one is facing northeast. And the gaps are then filled by a black 1x2 in a vertical position. And then to help keep the pattern going for the red, we've got 2 red 1x3s right here. Then we've got 2 more red L's, and these ones have their gaps facing southeast and southwest. And then the gaps are filled again by 2 black 1x2s. Now for the eyes, and you have to do this whenever you want to, there is a black 1x1 right here over the right in front of the yellow brick that we did earlier in Part 4. You just grab a little black 1x1, put it right in front of the yellow and under one of the parts of the 2x3 red on the top. And there we go. Groudon now has that a violent look at its face. So now we can go to step 6, where we're going to build up more of Groudon's head. And of course, it looks like we're nearly done. We just have to work on the crown next. We've done part 6 of step 15. We are nearly at the end of this step. All we have to do is finish off the crown, but first, let me just share with you what I had to do. So I started out at the back with a 1x4 right here, followed by a red 1x4, and then again a black 1x4, and a red 1x4. So that's the pattern for Groudon done. Then right here is 2 red 1x3s, and I was a little confused at first as to does this go over something, and it turns out that it doesn't. It is right comfortable right there. Then right underneath each one of those 1x3s is 2 more 2x3s for the front of Groudon's head, and then we've got 2 red L's. This one has its gap facing the southwest. This one is facing southeast, and that is it for part 6. Now part 7 I'm going to do on camera, which is my favorite thing to do when I do these unboxing builds. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to, I won't have any more to do, because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more to do after this one. But hopefully when I come back from Japan, I will have plenty more. So if you do want to see me do more unboxing builds, guys, please do not forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to get notified whenever my videos do go live. So for part 7, I have put this red 2x3 on right behind the red L's, directly behind, not on top, but behind it, which is a pretty good thing to do. Then it is another red 1x2 on both ends, one here, and then one here. So that's all nice and connected and it's not loose. Then we have got to put on two more 1x2s, kind of like a square for this. And place it on like so. So that is what Groudon's head should look like. Sorry for the lag, guys. Hopefully in the future, when I do have the memberships up and running, I can use the money that you use to buy the memberships on the YouTube channel for better equipment. And anyway, that is it for part 8. Part 9, this is the last that we're going to do, the last thing that we need to do for Groudon's head. It's basically two of these, a 1x2 and a 1x1. And we put a 1x2... we put a 1x1 underneath a 1x2, and then we place it right here, and then again, right here, to here. We are done with the head. Absolutely fantastic. And then I can just put this on the model like so. And there we go. Groudon has hands, head, and a tail, but all he is missing are his feet, which is going to be on step 16. Yep, and everything is connected. I'm happy. Okay, so we are nearly done with step 16. I just thought I'd show you guys exactly what I've done for this step. So I began with the going to the back underneath the tail for Groudon. It is a couple of gray 2x4s. So there's one here and one here to make sure that it's all connected nicely. Then a gray 1x4 right here to make sure that the black from the very beginning is all secured. Then another gray 2x4 right here. And then right here at the front, it is two 2x4s. So Groudon does have the curve from his belly to its tail. Then on both sides where the feet are, there are two red L's, and each one of them has an L where the gap is facing the northeast, and the other is facing the northwest. So it kind of forms sort of like an L or a claw of a machine claw of sorts. Then at the back of those L's is a 1x2. Then at the front, to fill in the gaps for those L's, is a black 2x2. Then it comes down to the toes for Groudon. So you gotta grab at least two white 1x2s for the front, one here, and then one here, and then a white 1x2 for the outside part of the toes. And then to support the 1x2s at the front, you grab a red 1x3, place it there, and then put on two more red L's underneath, so that Groudon then gets his feet properly. And that is it. When I stop knocking parts of Groudon off it over and over again. Bear me 1 minute. Alright, my model is now fixed, and here it is. Groudon, the Earth Pokemon that is responsible for creating the land and in Generation 3. And it's forever sleeps dormant in a volcano. But when it's awake? Yep, definitely awake. When it is awake, it will be ready to fight its arch nemesis, Kyogre, in the future. Did you like my little unboxing video? If you did, why not check out my other content right here? I have a nice little video for a nanoblock set from a video game series, or I have a playlist right here for all of my past builds. And if you are new to the channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you can help the channel grow, and ring the bell to get notified on my latest videos. Happy gaming, guys, and I'll see you at the next unboxing build.